Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at some stuff we did last weekend out in the garden. This is going to be our garden special. The weather finally warmed up a little bit last weekend. We thought it was going to be wet and cold, rainy most of the time, and in fact it turned out to be completely the opposite. But last weekend we got out and did a couple of things I've been wanting to do in the garden. So we're going to take you along with it. We're going to show you three things that I was going to make 3 videos out of, but I decided to condense together. We're going to show you here all at one time. The first thing is we're going to make some wood mulch out of log splitter droppings, and then put some of that material down around our trees in our orchard out here. Then I'll show you how to, or how I made tomato cages out of sheet panels that are tomato trellises that are better than anything you can buy at the box stores right now. They were not exactly cheap, but they were certainly durable. We're going to use them for many years to come. We've already used them for many years. We're going to take a look at how I did that. They're cheap, effective, and they stand up to a lot of wind. And then finally, my dad got a new to him John Deere 445 package that includes a 3-point PTO driven rototiller. We used that here in our garden last week. So last fall we had the 35-ton Country Line log splitter over here at my place, splitting the last of the season's firewood, and it made a mess, quite honestly, just like it always does. We swept the splitter droppings up into a pile, and for later use, I decided I'd try an experiment, and that day for the experiment is upon us. We're going to try and see if we can make wood mulch to mulch in our trees here from the splitter droppings. That task today, we've got a Troy-built chipper that my brother-in-law brought us from Texas this last winter. He had it given to him, and then he gave it to us because he wasn't using it for much of anything. And we're going to try this mulching experiment with this chipper. In actuality, this chipper did not work very well for chipping up log splitter droppings. The main reason is that, number one, it got plugged up pretty easily by that bigger stuff. It's supposed to take a 2 to 3 inch branch. Most of this stuff is a little bigger than that. It gets in there sideways and it plugs it up and unable to move anything else through there. You have to stop the machine, wait for everything to stop rotating, and then clear the plug and get started again. It's a long process. I probably could have gotten this little pile done in a few hours, but in actuality I had a soccer game to get to at 1:30 in the afternoon. This is mid-morning by now and I was losing my patience. So I ended up bailing out and getting the manure fork and shoveling it into the dump cart and distributing it around that way. This does fine. It's a little bigger pieces or a little more uneven pieces than we'd like. And in actuality, the chipper probably chips into a little smaller pieces than we'd like. They're a bit more uniform than the large uneven pieces that you see in that pile, but I didn't spend all day doing it either. So I got a nice coating of wood mulch. I basically just did the trees down in our orchard next to the pond, and that'll do us fine to keep some of the moisture in around those trees, around the root balls. See some the spring asparagus coming up in our asparagus patch, and the strawberries are. Here's Ada in the garden at tomato harvest season 2022. And then you'll see a view of our tomato trellises sticking up over the top, barely over the top of the tomatoes that have grown up them throughout the summer. And then finally a video of me demonstrating the 90-degree bend on the sheet panels. I've cut these to length the long ways with a bolt cutter, and then cut down the sides. And you see there, I'm missing a cross member on the very end down closest to the camera here, where we used to stick that down into the ground. We anchor with a T-post or a steel fence post. That seems to work really good, but I'm not sure if that's necessary. These things stick in the ground really well by themselves. These things are both very durable. They hold their shape, and they are since they're zinc coated, they're resistant to rust and corrosion. So we have confidence that we'll use these a long time into the future. They weren't cheap to get started with, but on the other hand, we'll probably not have to buy any of this type of material again for a very long time. Don't let the cat eat the turtle.
Ow, his claws are so sharp. Oscar, no. Oscar, no, Oscar. Okay, soon. He's a painted turtle. This is claw sharp.
Don't let the cat eat him. No, they're just scratchy like it.
I want to feel it.
So here's my dad's 445 with a PTO powered 3-point mount 450 rototiller. Just checking oil before we get started here, and then going to start it up and run across the garden. I've already run across a couple of times. For whatever reason, lost the video for the first couple of times across, and I don't know why. For the life of me, I can't figure out why we didn't think to mount the quick hitch. Is a little bit of weight in the front. The nose of the tractor here is extremely light, so that's why I've got that log chain on there. The steering is almost non-existent on the front end at this point, but the rototiller is really showing its chops. This is a true garden tractor. This thing is really showing its chops. I mean, I was convinced as with our 445 with the 60-inch mower deck and the 47 snowblower, but this thing has a large deck and a snowblower and the rototiller. This thing really has chops as a garden tractor. The tractors, both being 2001 models, have the steel cam gears in them, and the twins are a bit newer than that, and I hope they much outlast the tractors.
Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below.
Thanks for watching, everybody. If I'm lucky, I'll see you in the next Black Hills and Eastern Railroad episode.